Hey there, my name is John Suscovich. I'm at my farm brewery in Western Connecticut, and I got a question from Jeff Mayer asking about how I get my chickens to the farmer's market. So I want to talk about what I've done in the past, what lessons I've learned, and how to make the best decisions for you going forward so you don't make the same mistakes that I did. So I pulled out one of my coolers, and that is typically how I get the birds back from the processor and how I bring them to the farmer's market. It was in these big, like 125, 140 quart igloo coolers. These things are great. I mean, you buy them for deep sea fishing. I got mine at Costco, which is like a big wholesale store, and they only sell them locally in the spring, just because, you know, they need the shelf space for other things and people are getting ready for the summer, so they're buying these big freaking coolers. The thing I learned with these coolers, while they're good and you can fit a lot of chickens in them, so you're technically carrying less coolers per batch of chickens, they can weigh up to 200 pounds. I mean, if you have fresh birds and you pack this thing with ice, that's water plus the weight of the birds. And if I could fit 25, 30, 4.5 to 4 pound chickens in here, that's like a zillion pounds. So if I'm fitting 20 to 30 birds in here plus ice, this thing weighs a lot. And for me, what I've learned is that when I was a young buck in my mid-20s, which was not that long ago, I'd be like, yeah, we can pick this up, and you know, hopefully you have two people. I was able to lift this thing on and off many a trucks, many a times in the back of my car by myself. But I've learned that that is a terrible idea because I only have one set of shoulders, which is now tired from holding the camera, and I only have one back, which goes out on occasion. It just gives up. It says, you know what, you've done too many foolish things. We're done. We're quitting. Lay down for a few days. So what I would suggest, and I've seen other farms do this, is go to a lot of small coolers instead of a few big coolers. That makes it easier for you to handle. That makes it easier for you to handle inventory if you have different cuts, different products, different types of chickens, you have chickens, pork, beef, you don't want to mix all that in the same cooler. When you handle a lot of product and you're shifting around in a cooler, those frozen products bounce into each other, and then holes are created in the packaging, and then it will loosen up from that vacuum seal and you'll get freezer burn in your product. So that is no good. So if I was going to go the cooler route, I would go with more small coolers and fewer big coolers, if that makes sense. Other things that I've seen people do, and this was part of Jeff's question. Jeff asked, what method do you use to transport your meat to and from farmers markets, coolers, or a refrigerator trailer? If you're big enough, I would suggest getting a refrigerated truck. But if you're that big to where you're making that decision, you already know that that's an answer. One of the other solutions to having a cooler is putting a chest freezer onto a pallet and putting it in the back of your pickup truck, and you can plug that chest freezer in, figure out a way to hook it up to a battery at the farmer's market if you need active refrigeration, or just plug it in with an extension cord next to your house or your farm under a shed before you go to the market. Put your meat in there, unplug it, and then use that as your cooler while you're selling at the farmer's market. You can take out what you need for a display. You can have that as a backup for more inventory. So if you have a few small coolers for immediate sales and then a bigger freezer if you want to have more inventory with you. And that freezer, you don't have to pack and unpack. You can just pick it up with the tractor forks, put it down, plug it back in, and you're good to go. So my suggestion, more small coolers. You could use the box freezer, the chest freezer on a pallet idea, or whatever creative solution you're going to come up with. But that is what I have used typically. Those are the mistakes I've made, and that is the price I've paid with my back and my shoulders throughout the years. Now, I've kept these coolers. I'm just at a different scale now, and this is what I'm going to use every spring. I bring them out and give them a good bleaching and get them clean for the season and ready to go. And in between each use, I clean them, and it's just part of the process, part of the step that I take in keeping everything sterile and food safe. And that's it. That's my answer to Jeff's question. Jeff went to farmmarketingsolutions.com. He went to the bottom of the homepage where there is a form you can fill out and ask me a question tomorrow. I have a question from Nick, and Nick has a very specific chicken tractor question, so I'm going to walk to a different part of the farm and answer that one now. And that will be up on tomorrow's video. Thanks for taking the time to check out the channel, and until next time, I will see you out in the field.